Welcome back to another episode of Making Over a 100-year-old house for my in-laws. We are slowly making our way through their entire house, and today we are finally starting on their main bathroom. Today's episode is sponsored by M-Teeth. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm April. I'm the suitcase designer, and I do want to say that this is still a realistic makeover channel, but things are about to change after we finish this makeover series and our next one. If you missed the announcement, my husband and I are relocating very soon to Amsterdam, which means that we're going to kind of get back to our roots of being travelers and expats and building this channel to be more of a fusion of interior design and travel. If you're into experiencing Europe from more of a design perspective, just soaking in all of that good European design, we're still gonna do makeovers at some point. I covered a lot of that in this Q&A, so if you missed that, you can check it out there. But if you're new to the channel, let me catch you up. My husband and I recently relocated from South Korea after living there for about 7 years. We moved back during the pandemic so that we could see our family. It had been 5 years since we seen them, and we knew that we wanted to help them in their homes before relocating permanently to Amsterdam. So we've been here going through my in-laws' house first, and as soon as we wrap up this project, I will be heading down to my parents' house so that we can also make over their spaces as well, which will be really fun because they've lived in that house my entire life, and my bedroom still has pink checked sponge paint above the closet where I did that when I was a little kid. Today, though, we're heading back to my mother-in-law's house. She wasn't quite sure if she wanted to show the bathroom, but I promised that I wouldn't show anything like too personal, so I'm going to intentionally kind of hide some of the things in the bathroom, just, for obvious reasons. Let's go. This is how the bathroom originally looked whenever we first got here and I took befores of all of this space. It has changed over time over the last few months, especially as we've been kind of tearing apart the rest of the house. A lot of stuff has ended up in here. So the shower curtain is one that she changed after I took the befores. And there's actually this cabinet that you can keep your eyes out for that usually hangs out behind the door, which makes it really difficult to fully open the door. You kind of always hit it. So keep your eye out for that one. So this makeover today is all about working with what you've got. I know so many of us, if we had it our way, if we had all the money in the world, we would renovate all these rooms in our home and make them very extravagant and everything we want it to be. That's not usually an option for most people. But that doesn't mean that we still can't achieve a space that we really love and that inspires us. Instead, we just kind of have to shift our brain and stop thinking about, oh, if I had this, and say to yourself, this is what I've got, how can I make it better? And that's what we're trying to do today. We're gonna make the most of what we've got and with the time that we have available to ourselves, and we're going to try to improve this space so that it's actually a bathroom that you wanna hang out in and not one that you want to avoid. So we had these extra knobs that we're using in the kitchen, and we decided to just put them on the cabinets in here. So now moving on to the suitcase designer declutter phase. If you are curious about the order of phases, you can check out this video and how I plan my makeovers. I want to make better use of all of the storage under here. So we're just gonna take everything out, go through it. What I'm going to try and do is consolidate some categories into clear bins like this and label them with all of their stuff underneath the cabinet, which is great because hair won't get in there, which always happens in a bathroom. We'll keep it dust free and clean, but we'll start storing it underneath. Quick pause from the makeover to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, M-Teeth. I am such a fan of electric toothbrushes, but I've always hated how expensive they are, which is why I'm especially excited to share with you guys M-Teeth today, because they make affordable electric toothbrushes that actually look good on your countertops. I've had this one for 5 years and I was thinking it was kind of looking a little grungy. Like it's been around the world a few times and it is definitely time to switch for another one. And I'm just so in love with how beautiful this black one is on your counter. I mean, I wouldn't be TSD if I didn't point out how much better the black one looks on your countertop. I actually like this one a lot better than my old one. This is like 3 different modes, but honestly, I have never been able to use this like the most intense mode. It was like way too much for my teeth. Oh god, that had checked. For me, only one setting ever worked on this one, but this one actually has 5 different modes. So you have sensitive teeth, clean, gum care, white, and polish. One of the best features about having an electric toothbrush is they all have 2-minute timers. You just divide your mouth into 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'll time you for 30 seconds on each. This one just kind of stops at the end of 30 seconds and then it starts again, which I like because it gives you time to actually switch whatever section of your mouth you were working on. But no longer do you have to wonder if you've been brushing your teeth for the right amount of time. This one is charged by a USB cable and you only have to charge it for 6 hours and then it lasts for 90 days. And with M-Teeth, another way to save money is with their replacement heads, which is where price can really add up over time. And I was always really unhappy with the fact that buying brush heads for this one were just so expensive. And with M-Teeth, you can buy 2 for $9.99 and you would just replace them in the same amount of time that you would replace your toothbrush. I promise you, once you switch to an electric toothbrush, you will not want to change again, and you will not have cables all over your countertop because it just sits very beautifully right there. It doesn't need to be charged into the base all of the time. If you're not into black, they also have a white version, and I believe they have blue and pink as well. If you want to check out M-Teeth, you can actually shop directly through Amazon. You can use our code 15suitcase at checkout to get an additional 15% off. I swear this is the best investment I've ever made for my teeth. It is absolutely amazing. Thank you, M-Teeth, for sponsoring today's video, and now back to the makeover. I know all of you antique lovers are going to take note of this beautiful cabinet in her bathroom, But let me just say, this isn't hers. She's actually keeping for a friend. And I have heard her say so many times that she just wants to get it out. And I completely agree with that. I don't think it's making the best use of her storage. I'm gonna go ahead and take a photo of this so she can send to her friend to make sure to ask her friend if she can come get it from her. Well, I just figured out that there is no volume on. Okay, what I was saying is she told me not to worry about painting the ceiling because it was already done more recently than the rest of the house, and she thought it was already a really crisp white. But she stepped out of the house and I just want to swatch it because my gut instinct told me that it's not as white as a ceiling in the living room, and that crisp white just brings so much, like, to me, it brings breathing room in my space. It feels so good in the living room now as opposed to when we were over here before, just hanging out. It feels so much better just to have that white ceiling. Because we're not spending a lot of money in this space, we're really just trying to make everything that we have better. Using the existing paint that we have for the ceiling, we have a bunch. It's not gonna cost us any money, it's just gonna cost us some time. So I'm just gonna do this while she is out of the house. We're just gonna go ahead and get this done before she comes back. Okay, oh my gosh, it's just gonna be, it's just gonna be so good. because it takes my mother-in-law forever to decide on a paint option for a room, and because we're trying to save money, it's just easier for us to go with the grayish and continue the theme throughout the house, which is also very important to her. But we have a lot of different colors that we're going to bring into the space. So it's a small area, so we don't want it to feel too overwhelmed by all the different things and colors and patterns that we're going to bring in. We want to downplay that, and I think the grayish really helps with that. We didn't talk about it in the other videos, but painting the doors and adding this upgraded doorknob just really transformed the whole doors. I wish you could see it in person because I think it looks so much better in person. Here it just looks like more brown. It's not brown whenever you're there. It looks very high-end in my opinion in person. This was a perfect spot to remove the vanity and add shelves instead. And then these shelves were some that we had in the garage. This allows her to get some of those practical things off the countertops that are cluttering it up, or even the hand towels, and display those up out of the way, but so that she still has floor space on the floor. I'm also just adding this because we talked about this in the Q&A, but those are hand towels from my house. And if you watch the Q&A, you'll understand. This might seem kind of weird, like, why are you finishing this, but you still have painting to do? The reason that we're doing this is because this was a Friday night and I didn't want to leave the bathroom just totally a disaster and not have hooks for them, and then that makes their weekends more stressful. So I was trying to get everything to a stopping point for this one day so that they could enjoy their house over the weekend, so that I could come back on Monday and pick up again. This shower curtain rod was falling down. She wanted to get another one, but instead of doing that, Jackson's just gonna fix her old one and put it up higher and make it more stable so it's not falling down. So remember in the extreme declutter where we had all of those piles at the very end, I said this is stuff for makeovers, this is decor that we've set aside throughout the entire home declutters that we've done. These are some of the baskets from that. And we weren't quite sure where we were going to use them in the house, but I was kind of struggling to make everything fit under the cabinets so that it functioned for them, because there was still stuff that they need on the countertop. So why not just use these baskets? And then one of the things I've tried to do in all of the rooms is bring in greenery. I think this is a great tip for anybody who's struggling with anxiety or depression or just in general cabin fever, or you just don't like your space. Add some greenery. I totally believe in grocery store flowers. I think they have some of the best, especially if you're up in the Northwest at Fred Meyer's. I think they always have really great ones. They're really good price. I think we got all three of these bundles for $18, and I made 2 different arrangements. One I put in the living room. Buy yourself the flowers. So now we just get to finish adding decorative touches using the pieces that she set aside through all the declutters that you know are extremely meaningful to her, because she's been intentional about that throughout all of the declutter. So now we get to make the bathroom a special place. of our bathroom makeover. We're going to be wrapping up this series very soon before heading down to my parents' house to start a whole new group of makeovers for them. And then we're heading off to Amsterdam. So if you missed any of the news, check out some of the most recent videos to catch you guys up, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye.